Welcome to this week's edition of Campus News. I'm Phil Patches.
And I'm Sarah Moscoso. Renovations, acrobats, and a special celebration are coming at you right after this.
Whether you're on the go or taking a break, the Etownian has you covered. Pick up a paper on campus or read online at etownian.com.
Royer Residence Hall will receive a major renovation this spring to house students in the fall 2023 semester. With the increased class enrollment over the past 3 years, all current residence halls are being pushed to their respective maximum capacities. Royer, which is located along South Mount Joy Street, opened in 1962 and can hold up to 130 students. The now unoccupied residence hall was most recently used to house individuals who tested positive for COVID-19. The renovated residence hall will be available for all students regardless of class standing, with 3 RA positions being created. It will also house the new Social Changes Living Learning Community in partnership with the Center of Global Understanding and Peacemaking.
Chemistry students returning in the fall semester may have a strong reaction when they step into the lab for the first time. This summer, a $2.4 million project will update the 3 teaching laboratories on the first floor of Moser, as well as the main hallway corridor. The labs are used for general chemistry, organic chemistry, and quantitative analysis. The current labs feature out-of-date design with dull lighting. Renovations will include new styling to match the rest of the Master Center and presentation areas so professors can present slides during the lab. While space is functional, it hasn't been updated in 40 years and needs to change. Recently, A.C. Bauer, Professor of Chemistry Emeritus, Dr. Charles D. Schaefer Jr. made a generous donation to the college to support the project. Schaefer has been at the college for 47 years and served as Chemistry Department Chair for 4 years. The project is also supported by contributions from the George I. Alden Trust and individual donors.
On Tuesday, February 21st, the Spanish Club hosted Carnival Celebration. Students gathered in Carry 127, where they were able to participate in a variety of different activities, including bottle toss, face painting, and mask making. Students were also able to enjoy snacks that are popular during Carnival celebration, such as the King's Cake. Professor of Spanish, Dr. Charla Lorenzen, expressed how she feels it is important for people to experience different cultural traditions.
So I think the more you learn about other people, the more you think about your own traditions, and sometimes you think, oh, that's really similar, and other times you think that's totally different.
Interested in joining the Spanish Club? They hold meetings the second Tuesday of each month at 7:30 p.m. in Carry 127. Speaking of celebrations, Jake has quite a few victories to talk about. Here he is with sports.
This past week was a roller coaster ride for the women's basketball team. After earning a shot at postseason play in the Landmark Conference, they kicked things off on the right foot. Their semifinal game against Catholic University was a good one. The Jays captured a blowout win over the Cardinals, 81-64. Junior guard Kylie Wilson was red hot from the field and led the team with 23 points, knocking down 8 of 11 from the field, including 7 of 9 from behind the arc. 3 other Blue Jays reached double figures, including junior forward Jessica King, who had 19, sophomore guard Summer McNulty, who dropped 18, and sophomore forward DaniRae Renno, who tallied 10 points. King and Renno also finished with double-doubles, feasting on the board with 11 and 17 rebounds respectively. On Saturday, though, the team fell to number 3 Scranton. After a spectacular season, their conference championships hopes ended at the hands of the Royals in the Landmark Conference Championship game, 69-54. Guard Summer McNulty was the leading scorer for Etown, pouring in 20 points, including 9 from long range. After a hot start for the Jays, the Royals were able to get hot from distance, going 6 for 9 from the 3-point range in the first half and taking a 5-point lead going into the locker room. They never looked back from that point on, taking home the Landmark Conference title. The men's tennis team has started out in a slump this season. After an 0-2 start, the Jays look to turn things around early in the morning at 9 a.m. against Lancaster Bible College. This one was played at home and unfortunately ended in another loss for the team. The final score was 9-0 in favor of Lancaster Bible. The Blue Jays will look to bounce back as they get ready for their match against Scranton on Saturday, March 18th at 1 p.m. at home. The women's tennis team started out the season on a 2-game win streak, sitting at 2-0 on the young season. The team battled Lancaster Bible College this past weekend on February 25th at 1 p.m., where they hope to continue their winning ways. It was their second home match of the season, and the result was yet another win for the Blue Jays. The Blue Jays won this one by a score of 8-1, winning in dominating fashion as they have done all season. This moves them to 3-0. They will play their next match against Scranton on Saturday, March 18th at 1 p.m. at home on the alumni courts. The wrestling team completed their season with a strong showing in the NCAA Division III Mid-East Regional Championships at Ithaca College in Ithaca, New York over the weekend. On Friday, out of the 21 competing teams, the Blue Jays scored in the top 5 and finished the day in 4th place. Their final point total that day came out to 59 points, as some of the wrestlers reached the semifinals. On Saturday, they were unable to maintain their spot in the top 5, dropping to 7th. Still, the Jays were able to score a top 10 spot as the second and final day of the regional championships. Moving forward, senior Brian Schneider and first-year Gannon Smith will compete in the NCAA Division III National Championships on March 10th and 11th. Overall, it was a successful weekend for the men and women's track and field teams. Taking place at Susquehanna University in Selinsgrove, Pennsylvania, the landmark indoor championships were good to the Blue Jays, as junior Myron Holland Jr. continued his success as he brought home 3 gold medals and was named the Men's Track Athlete of the Year for the Jays. After it was all said and done, the men's track and field team finished 3rd in the event with 116 points. But the Jays were not quite finished. Graduate student Melissa Fitzgibbon led the way for the women's track and field team as she found the podium twice in her efforts in both the 5,000-meter run and the 3,000-meter run. Senior Jocelyn Italy and junior Miley Neidig were able to earn bronze medals in the high jump and shot put, respectively. The women's team finished 6th this weekend with a total of 45 points. Over the weekend, the men's lacrosse team suffered their first loss on the young season. While they may have lost, the Jays went down fighting. Senior Riley Langen scored a total of 7 points in the 20-15 loss against the Stockton Ospreys. The Blue Jays faced an early 5-1 deficit in the first, but graduate student Alex Kilgore and junior Gavin Gismondi had other plans. The two scored back-to-back goals and cut the deficit to just 1. However, Stockton was able to keep their foot on the pedal and eventually pulled away for the win. The Jays will look to rebound on Wednesday on the road against Washington College. While it is still early, the women's lacrosse team has found success this season. On Saturday, it was more of the same for the Blue Jays, who kept their success rolling with a 16-10 win over Lycoming College. It may have been chilly, but the offense was on fire. Junior Sam Diaco and sophomore Madison Henley got the game started with a few goals to make it 2-0 Etown. However, Lycoming fought back, making it 3-2. In a back-and-forth game that came down to the wire, it was goals by sophomore Megan Gress, junior Sam Diaco, and freshman Drew Bridges that turned out to be the difference maker. The win over Lycoming was the Jays' 3rd on the season, and will look to start the new year off right with another win on Wednesday when Albright comes to visit. And that's it for sports. Back to you.
Thanks, Jake. On Friday night, Etown students flocked to the cave to attend OSA's Paint and Sip event. Each student was provided with paint supplies, a canvas, and snacks from Conrad's Corner. Students followed a paint-along episode of The Joy of Painting with Bob Ross, and all had a great time. The event was so popular that they maxed out on seats and supplies before the event had even started. Make sure to stay up to date for more OSA events.
On Friday, Elizabethtown College welcomed the Zuzu Acrobats to perform in Leffler Chapel. This group from Tanzania, Africa, have performances based on 2,000 years of history, art, and culture. The audience experienced live music from African djembe and talking drums, along with dancing and many acrobatic stunts that demonstrated the performer's flexibility and strength. These stunts included balancing of stacked chairs, lifting each other, and jumping rope. They even invited some of the audience members to join in on their performance on stage.
On Saturday in Leffler Chapel was the annual Girls' Night Out event, which showcased female performers in many of Etown's clubs, such as Melika, Emotion, the Etown Dance Team, the theater clubs, and Mad Cow Improv. All of the proceeds from the event went to Lancaster's Clare House, which is a transitional housing program helping women and children who are facing homelessness, and help provide resources for women to start working.
That's all we have this week. Make sure to subscribe to our channel and follow us on Instagram and Facebook at ECTV40. We'll see you after spring break. I'm Sarah Moscoso.
And I'm Phil Patches. Have a great week, and remember to take flight, Etown.